This acclaimed violinist played her first concert when she was just 9 and has since performed all around the world, eventually becoming the co-leader of the Singapore Symphony Orchestra. She was also awarded the Cultural Medallion in 2006 and then inducted into the Singapore Women's Hall of Fame in 2014. Meet local legend Lynnette Seah. Lynnette's journey into music started from a very young age when her mother, Lau Biao-chin, who was also one of Singapore's first concert pianists and a music teacher, taught her to play the piano and violin at age 4 and 6 respectively. Her mother instilled in her the discipline to practice every day, as at just 6 years old, she would have to play 1 hour on the piano and 1 on the violin before she was allowed to have dinner. She then played her first violin concert with her mother at the age of 9, performing at the Old National Theatre as part of the Talent Time contest. And in 1973, after winning the Southeast Asian Violin Competition, Lynnette put her pre-university studies on hold as she accepted a scholarship to study in Germany under violinist Friedrich von Hausager. During her time in Germany, Lynnette felt lonely and homesick due to language and cultural differences. Thus, she immersed herself in the violin, practicing 8 hours a day. She also felt pressured to meet the high expectations of her professor, who expected her to play in perfect pitch and intonation, eventually leading her to discover how much she truly enjoyed playing the violin. In 1979, Lynnette began her professional music career when she was 21 and joined the newly formed Singapore Symphony Orchestra, where she was first appointed as the acting leader and eventually worked her way up to being its co-leader. In the 80s, Lynnette's musical career really took off, as she was busy giving recitals in Singapore as well as performing as a solo act in Europe. And to mark the 50th anniversary of the late Thai King Rama IX's ascension to the throne, she was given the honour to be Singapore's representative in the World Philharmonic Orchestra under conductor Myung Hoon Jong. For all her achievements in music, Lynnette was awarded the Cultural Medallion in 2006 and inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame in 2014, where after 41 years with the Singapore Symphony Orchestra, she decided to officially retire. Which brings us to the question, where is she now? We reached out to her and she graciously invited us over to her house for an exclusive interview with her.
Thank welcome. So please come in.
Alright. Okay.
Come in, please have a seat.
Alright, thank you.
Make yourself comfortable.
Okay, well, it's a very comfortable sofa. Hi, Lynnette. Thank you so much for having us at your place. I just want to say, you are the first person I've ever spoken to with the title of Master in the name. So, can I just ask you, what does it mean to be like a concert master? You know, do you control the entire show? Or?
So, concert master is actually the American term for the leader of the entire orchestra. Up until half of the SSO's history, I was the deputy leader and then I was made the co-concert master. So actually the job entails me taking care of the entire orchestra's work discipline as well as communication.
So let's just take you back, you know, to the time when your mom taught you both the violin and the piano. You know, what was it about the violin that made you choose it over the piano?
My mother was a concert pianist and then apparently when I was 2.5, she sat me on her lap and I played on the piano. So she's like, oh, she's musical. So she taught me piano when I was like 4+. And then when I was 6, she brought me to her violin teacher, Goh Sun Teo. And she told me that Goh Sun Teo actually said, oh, your daughter's got nice natural bow arm. I think the violin was my natural instrument.
Okay.
And I somehow always did better on the violin than the piano. It's not really that fun because I had to practice every single day for my dinner because my mother was very disciplined. So she said to me since the age of 5 and 6, 1 hour violin, 1 hour piano, otherwise no dinner. So food for me was like my reward and her act of love for me also.
You know, speaking about performing with the violin, I understand that, you know, as when you were younger as well, you performed alongside your mother for some concerts as well.
Yes.
Yeah, what was it like actually? Was there a lot of pressure?
When I was 9, I was standing on this huge stage in National Theatre. I didn't have any nervousness or anything. I think as a child, you don't feel any tension or nerves. You just play.
So I understand as well, because you mentioned, you know, in Germany you used to practice about 8 hours a day.
That's right.
Because you had to meet your professor's expectations.
Yes.
You know, like, what was the hardest thing to cope with? Was it that, or, you know, was it you being by yourself in Germany?
Practicing the violin in Germany was my lifeline. I was on a scholarship, so I was on a very tight budget. So I also had to pay for a violin in installments because my teacher said my violin wasn't good enough. And then I had to pay for my little dorm room. and then I had to pay for stamps to write home to my boyfriend every day. And basically didn't have much left for food. So I didn't have anything to do, so I just practiced every day. Also because my professor was very nice to me, he gave me 2 lessons a week.
Okay.
And every lesson he would give me a new study or a new piece to learn, and I had to memorize it by the next lesson. So I basically had 2.5 days in between lessons.
I understand as well that you did consider pursuing medicine when you came back to Singapore. But what was it about music that really made you go for it instead of medicine?
I think it's in my blood to also be in the medical stream, but because I spent so much time away, my whole biology and physics and chemistry was all rusty. So I also decided that I really love playing the violin. So that was my main passion then. And I was like, forget about being a doctor.
So you were there when the Singapore Symphony Orchestra was formed, and you were actually even its acting leader. I understand you were 21 years old at that time. So what challenges did you face as the leader of the SSO?
The hardest thing to do as a leader, I think, is trying to liaise with the conductor. Sometimes it's the personality and the charisma of the conductor. So I always feel like when they get on the podium, they are like a mini god. You can't question them, and you can never argue with them.
What was the biggest challenge that you had to face throughout your entire career with the SSO?
The most scary thing is actually to play in front of all your colleagues. So basically, I really sort of pushed myself forward. In my opinion, I think music, especially classical music, it's perfection driven. At the same time, you need to have your own style.
So I just want to ask as well, because you have performed in like so many countries for like hundreds of thousands of people, who or where is the most memorable performance for you?
I think for me, the best was to play in the Zurich Concert Hall, which is called the Tonhalle, because it has excellent acoustic. It was not the main orchestra of Zurich, but the second orchestra, and I really love Switzerland so much.
What do you think of the current classical music scene in Singapore?
I think it's vibrant. The SSO is moving forward in leaps and bounds now that COVID's over. I think we're getting more and more top soloists and conductors. So every time we have these experiences with different artists, it sort of matures the orchestra. It's like maturing your child, from baby to adulthood.
So did you basically retire and then start cooking, or did you start cooking way before?
Actually, I started Lynnette's Kitchen when I moved back to Tiong Bahru. End of 2013, I moved back, but I started this in 2015. And then it was just basically by word of mouth, friends of friends, then it sort of took off from there. But then the blessing is that, when I retired, I could at least have something that I was passionate about to carry me through. And now at least I get to meet a lot of different people, different walks of life, different generations, and just for them to watch them enjoy my food and they bring their wine and everything makes me very happy and fulfilled.
So Lynnette, let me just ask you as well, what's next for you and what are you currently up to right now as well?
So now I've been invited to be guest concertmaster as well as soloist for a very, very wonderful National Day concert August 4th at the Victoria Concert Hall, which is the home of the Symphony, for local works composed for National Day.
Do you have anything that you'd like to say to any of our new up-and-coming musicians or current musicians in Singapore who are currently practicing the classical arts?
Keep on practicing, keep pushing your goals and your limits. Keep your passion alive, most important. Put in all your dedication and efforts to making yourself a better person and then a better violinist.
And now you know the legend of Lynnette Seah, one of Singapore's most acclaimed violinists. Having garnered an impressive legacy, she has captivated audiences far and wide, leaving her mark on the world of music. Let us know your thoughts and who you'd like to see featured next in our local legends. Where are they now?